Hey CAD-102, I want to go over real quickly how to tape down your paper, how to get it square, and also I want to go over these handouts here, your actual template, how to do your template. And if you can get a shot of this right here, this actually shows you what lead we're not going to use. We're going to use the 0.5 for both of these here. So your 0.5 essentially is going to be used for your text, your object lines, dimensioning, and your guidelines. Your 0.9 is going to be used for your title block, cutting plane, object lines, and some of you may have a 0.07 in your drafting kit. If not, just use your 0.09. All right, so let's look at this paper. All right, so what we do to get this paper square, I normally bring it down to, I bring the drafting machine down. We have drafting machines in the lab. I bring it down, make sure the drafting machine is square against the bottom. All right, if it's square against the bottom, then I can go ahead and bring it up. If you're a left-hand drafter, you're just going to do the opposite of what I do here. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this paper where it's square off the bottom and then square vertically, like so. And then I'm going to move away from it. And then here's our kit right here. Guys, you should have drafting tape for your kit. And inside your drafting kit, you're going to take this tape and you're going to hold down your first corner right here. Make sure you don't cover too much of it up because you got to do title block lines. So let's do one there. And let's just recheck to make sure we're square. And you guys that are doing it on a regular table, you could actually bring it down to the edge of your table, square it, and then tape it that way. So this looks like we're still in good shape here. But it's very important that you get this paper square. So what I do, I'll go crossways. I'll do it there. Make sure it's all flattened out. And then go ahead and put the other two on for your corners here. And then your next corner here. Okay, so now you should have, so if I want to go over top of this, if I want to use my drafting machine, I'm going to use my drafting machine. I use a lot of, I use the triangles. You'll have a 45. You want to put that down here to do your vertical lines, which is great. That's fine. All right, so you should have at least a point. This is going to be a 0.5, 0.05, and this is going to be a 9. All right, so we're at least going to use these two right here when we do our title block. Make sure that when you erase, guys, you're going to have an eraser. So what we want to do is keep all of our oils off of our paper. So we're going to use this brush that comes in your kit, and make sure you keep this clean. All right, so you don't, that way you don't smudge your paper. All right, so you got 3 scales right here. Okay, guys. You're going to have an architectural scale, which is going to have fractions on the ends, like so. All right, now when you're just wanting to do the 16ths, you're going to use the 16 side. All right, so these are broken up into 16 ticks, each tick being 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and this is going to be your metric, and this is your civil or your engineering. See, it says engineering on there right there. So these are big numbers for when you're doing plot plans or when you're doing architectural work. And these are your millimeters. All right, this is going to be your metric. And what you want to use on this one is you want to find the 100, which is going to be right here. Anytime you see a meter is 1,000 millimeters. Okay, just remember that. Anytime you see a meter is 1,000 millimeters. What we use in drafting is the unit of measure millimeters. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our title block. Our title block needs to be, looks like we're going to have a 1/4 inch around. That's kind of why I put this tape down like that, so I could have a 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 16 and I'm going to lay it on the edge, and I'm going to barely mark 4 ticks, which is a 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there's a 1/4 there. And I'm going to mark a 1/4 here. I'm going to go ahead and do my verticals. So I'm going to come off the edge of the paper, mark a 1/4 here, mark a 1/4 here. Now, I can either I'm going to take my drafting machine and I'm going to draw a straight line. Now, you don't push your pencil. You always pull. You always want to pull when you draw your lines. All right, so I'm going to start about right here, and now as I pull, I'm also rotating my pencil, okay? If I go off a little further, that's fine. Now, I have an option to either use the drafting machine or I'm going to use this is my 4590. So I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to go ahead and draw my vertical line. All right. Make that outside line pretty thick. All right. And I can come back and trim this out when I want to. All right. So once you do that, I'm just going to draw half of this. We want this to be, see, 1/4 of an inch from the outside of the border with the 0.9 and 3/8 up from the bottom. So I'm going to put this here. I'm gonna go 3/8 this time. So that's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So I'm gonna go right here. Same deal here. I'm gonna take my 0, put on the line that's there. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So that's gonna be the top of my title block where we put our annotations, all right? So I'm just gonna go ahead. Notice that I'm not pushing, I'm pulling, and I'm twisting my pen at the same time, okay? There we go. Now that's the top line. Now each one of these, this is 2.5 inches away. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this down, I'm gonna find 2.5, which is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark these all out. Next one is 1.25 inches. So we can either do the math, or I can just bring this back over to where I stopped for my 2.5 and do 1.25 inches. And I'm going to continue on till I get all of these right, and then I'm either going to use this or I'm going to use my triangle. I like to use my triangle. So I'm not going to push it, I'm going to pull back. All right. Now, continue to do all that, get that outside of that line. And guys, look at this, use this as a guide for when to use your 9 and when to use your 5. Okay, any questions? Give me an email. Easily accessed by email. All right, so again, let's get our title block. Needs to be done for every drawing. Once we start into doing drawings, make sure you have a title block for each one. Thanks.